Alright guys, we recently hit 15,000 subscribers over a year ago, so I figured it was finally time that I told the story of how this channel got started. Most of you who are here today probably weren't around back then, so I'll take it back to the beginning. Take yourself back to 2019. For some background information on myself, I was 16 years old and in my second year of high school at the time. Now, I wasn't anyone particularly important at school. I got mediocre grades, had only about 5 friends, 3 of which I was actually close with, was generally very quiet at school and not well known at all. But on the occasions where I actually did interact with the other students, I was generally considered to be sometimes funny. But the rest of my story will have to wait for another time. This is the story of the channel. So, on the second day of school, I floated around the idea of starting up a group YouTube channel with 2 of my buddies. They were generally receptive of the idea but had no idea what we were gonna make. And I didn't either. So instead, as soon as I got home, I made the channel, came up with the name in about 5 minutes, picked out the background, profile picture, and made the about page in another 5. First video I made was actually mainly just a test. I just uploaded some random audio clip that me and a buddy made in GarageBand one time, mainly just because it was hard to search for a channel when it had no videos on it. Then it came time to actually start making real videos, and I had a general idea of what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted it to be anime related, because I was a bit of a loser who had spent all of the past 2 years watching hundreds upon hundreds of anime, so it only made sense. My first video was actually based on a conversation I'd had with some people about 6 months earlier, and it was mainly a rant about how society always likes to cover up the existence of bisexual people. Overall, it definitely could have been worse for a first video, but it's really not held up that well, and most people haven't watched it. At the time, I was really poor, and the only computer that I had was a 12-year-old laptop, and I remember it took me 15 minutes just to render this one video using Windows Movie Maker. So anyway, I uploaded the video, and no one watched it. Not a single person ended up clicking on it. That wasn't me or one of my friends. The few people I showed it to at school actually liked what I did though, and I wasn't discouraged because I didn't actually think anyone was going to watch my first few videos in the first place. However, I did have a plan to get people to watch them. Basically, what I used to do is I would purposely make my titles as ridiculous as possible, and I would then make a meme about it and post it on Reddit in the hopes that the meme would get big and then people would check out my channel. Now, the first video that anyone actually watched was proving that John Wilkes Booth was a cat girl. This meme did relatively well on r/Animeniaks, and as a result it got about 50 views, which was more than I ever expected to get at the time. In fact, we got our very first subscribers right there, 7 of them. It was rather incredible, to say the least. But the far more important video was proving that traps aren't gay using quantum mechanics. This video was based on a variety of copypastas that were going around Reddit at the time, and while the topic of traps aren't gay wasn't at its peak of popularity, the fact that no one had adapted these copypastas into a video before seemed like an untapped market to me. So I took the best part of all of the various ones and combined them into a video along with my own spin on it. I think only about 5 people watched it for the first several days until I posted a meme on r/Animeniaks that got about 14,000 upvotes, and then within about a day, the video got up to 1,000 views, which I was absolutely floored by. I never thought I'd see that many views before in my life, and I thought it was just going to end there. But instead, over the next several days, the video just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, for as much as I was posting the memes on Reddit with the hopes of other people eventually finding my stuff, these videos were mainly made just to have my friends laugh, so there were some inside jokes, as well as the editing wasn't very good and the audio quality sucked, because I didn't really think anyone else was going to actually watch these. But then it sort of became an inside joke on the channel that the editing and audio quality just absolutely blows on my channel, so I just stuck with that for a while until I finally started giving more of a shit. In fact, my editing style was actually made not because I don't have the skills to edit any better, but it was mainly just due to the fact that my computer literally could not handle it if I tried to do any effects or fancy edits. But whatever, I'm not complaining. It's way easier to do it like this. The last one of these early videos I'm going to talk about is Can You Get Hard in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber? This one might be my favorite video I've ever made, but it's a bit unfortunate because most people that watched it didn't actually get the joke. Now at the time, there was this really popular Dragon Ball Z theory video going around called Born in the Time Chamber, and it's one of the worst videos I think I've ever seen in my life, mainly because it doesn't address what the title of the video is. So it's essentially just a really long clickbait, and yet the video was literally everywhere for like a good solid week or 2, and you couldn't avoid it. And it was while I was watching it that the idea just popped in my head. I was like, this is one of the stupidest things I've ever witnessed before in my life. I'm sure I could just make a clickbait title and then actually deliver on it. And so I did. But unfortunately, no one actually picked up the dots, which is fine, because the video by itself still works, but I definitely think it's better when you know the context. Well, the channel's come a long way, guys. Truth be told, I never really thought I'd get this this far. I didn't have a whole lot of prospects in life or opportunities before this, and frankly, I'm kinda shocked that the internet decided that this random poor kid shouting into his phone was worth everybody's time. But now that there's over 170,000 of you, I guess that's just the case. And yeah, while the production value may have gone up, I do still record in my closet while my mom's sleeping in the other room, so maybe not all that much has actually changed. If I feel like it, then maybe I'll do another video where I talk about the rest of my life, or maybe a Q&A video, but that's gonna be all for today. Thanks for everything, guys. You all gave me hope for the future when I had nothing, and giving me the strength to keep on going. So for that, thank you once again. Goodbye, everybody.